Coaches, do you have a problem playing a 50? That nose guard is just better than your center. Your fullback's not a great action key reader. Hey, I got a solution for you today that's going to help you protect A gap and allow you to hand that ball off and protect your center. Coaches, my name's Paul Pitts. Man, I've been fortunate to be around this offense since about 2005, both as a coordinator and as an offensive line coach most of the time. A couple years ago, I made a video talking about fundamentals of offensive line play. Man, the outreach from that has been unbelievable. I have coaches email me, call me all the time, asking questions, trying to see how it is that I've handled things or where I've seen how other people have handled. Really unbelievable. And so with that, figured I'd put together some videos and talk about some problems that I have faced in the past and maybe some solutions that we've come up with to handle it, how I've seen other people handle it and adapted it to the Veer scheme that I run. And to me, it's always important. I'm a Veer guy, okay? I know that as the offense has evolved, it has become more maybe mid-triple kind of stuff, but I love the inside veer. And so we're going to talk today about how it is that we're going to handle a 50 defense and find a unique way, I think, using a zany scheme to handle that 3-4 defense. So if you're interested in this, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what other questions you have or what other things I can do to help you out as you implement or as you evolve this Veer offense. Hit that. So, coaches, I don't know about you, but one of the defenses I absolutely hate to play against is a 50. Playing that 3-4 with a head-up 0 technique, maybe head-up 4 techniques, and then they'll be able to play that thing balanced. Man, that really gives me problems, and mainly because maybe there's so many different ways that they can play the Veer. They can squeeze and scrape the defensive end. They can just pinch everybody inside. On the outside, they can play cloud. They can exchange the 3-4 exchange in there. There's a lot of things that they can do, but mainly the reason, we can all scheme around that kind of stuff. The main reason I can't stand playing a 50 is that nose guard. And no matter who you're playing against, if that cat is better than your cat, man, it's going to be a long day. And I guess I've been unfortunate to play a lot of teams where that cat is better than my cat right there in front of them. And so we had to get creative in how we were going to attack a 50. So let me introduce to you a zany scheme that maybe you can implement. Now, this isn't anything new. It's not anything that revolutionary. A lot of people have been running it. I've just kind of adapted it a little bit to help us out, maybe came up with a couple techniques. So when we talk about a zany scheme, okay, it really is kind of built off of the whole, I can't remember what maybe Johnson calls it, maybe, I don't know. But it came off the whole deal against the 4-3 high mic deal where we're going to base the nose guard, we're going to send our guard straight to the mic, and then we're going to come down off of his hip in order to protect play side A gap. And so that's going to basically be our zany scheme. And let's see how it is that we are going to utilize this zany scheme. So when we're playing the zany, here's where I always have trouble against a 50. This nose guard right here, oftentimes, he's going to be slant with motion. He's going to play your center. Maybe he just plays him head up, tries to two-gap this thing. But for me, trying to scoop this guy using a traditional loop scheme to where we're out here and we're there, we have trouble with this guy beating us to play side A gap. Now, we can always read the action key, and that's great, but what happens whenever this guy is just so good that he's able to blow it up? Maybe this guy isn't a great action key reader. Okay, how is it that we're going to handle it? For me, you know, I know mid-triple is a great thing, but I want to find the way to run the veer. And so to run the veer against this, what you've got to be able to do is you've got to find a way to seal off play side A gap and form a wall. So this is where our zany scheme comes in. For when you get these defenses that are going to step up and they're going to try to make this a give read. A couple of years ago, we played the defense. We were really good at the slot back positions. We could get the ball on the edge and make some plays. And so defenses really figured out this wasn't our best player that particular year. And so they started trying to make us give it. We weren't strong there, not as strong there, which normally isn't a great idea for a Veer team. Find a way to be strong there and there, you're going to be a lot better off. But for us, so we had this team that they're stepping up, they're making us give it. They're going to play A gap, B gap with these three guys right here. So our zany scheme of vault, we're going to take our center. We're going to base that guy's play side number right there. I'm going to teach this tackle. He's going to come off the hip of that guard. And now he is aiming for that near hip of the zero technique. And his goal is I'm trying to take that hip and get it into that backside A gap. Now, our play side guard, he is going to take what we call a zany step that we'll talk about here in a little while. He's taking a zany step, and he is aiming for the play side number of that Mike linebacker. The reason I tell him to go play side number, not up underneath the note, up underneath the chin, is I want to be in a spot to take him in case the linebacker feels, or in case he sees that he starts to scrape, he's going to be on a path to be able to pick up that guy as he scrapes. I can adjust from there to get a hat on him. We're still going to read this guy as our dive key. We're going to read this guy as our pitch key. This backside linebacker or backside guard is now responsible for this backside linebacker. He is going to use a very, very similar technique. He's going to use that zany step in which he's going to step underneath himself. He's going to come off the hip of the zero. Don't worry about the zero. I'm coming off the hip of that zero, and I'm trying to get to play side A gap as fast as I can so that as that linebacker scrapes over the top, I'm in a spot to be able to intercept that angle. Okay, so the zany scheme again. Form a wall, protect play side A gap so that he can't slant, and you allow your fullback to get a running steam straight ahead without having to worry about cutting off of anything. Okay, get your guard to this play side linebacker there. Take an angle so if he does happen to scrape, I'm able to get there. Now, this is mainly for a defense that is going to be stepping up and not a hard squeeze. And I got a thing that we're going to show next week called our Zulu scheme in case you're getting a whole lot of squeeze scrape from these guys, how it is that we handle that. Okay, but zany. I have some film. We're going to watch some film here, so let's get to it. All right, coaches, so how are we going to run this zany step? I had a coach a couple weeks, or actually back in the fall, asked me. I kept talking zany step at practice, and he was like, what are we doing? And this is really a technique that can help in a lot of different ways. You can apply it, okay? But when we take our zany step, what we're actually trying to do is we're trying to get our hips on a path this way here in order to cut somebody off. But we're trying to avoid maybe a defensive lineman who's going to try and collision us here. So when we go zany step, I'm going to teach this guy to take his play side foot. He's going to almost cross over it. He's going to be, bam, here. So he steps in front of that backside foot, okay? And if they can get at it and they can turn that toe out, that helps out. But I'm going to take that, cross that thing over here. Now, here's where it becomes good and where it helps you out. At first, it looks bad, but now, as you take your second step, it naturally puts your hips on an angle to be able to come off the hip of the zero technique, or it puts your hips at an angle where if that linebacker is trying to scrape, I'm able to get there and I don't have to worry about getting collisioned by that defensive lineman. It clears my hips with my first step. Second step, it puts me on the right train track.
We're going to see on this first clip, we're able to use some motion here, draw the defense out. But pay attention when we see this from the end zone. I want you to watch this left guard. Does a great job using a zany step and how it puts him on a good angle to be able to pick up that linebacker or get around the 4-eye in case he squeezes there. We're able to block down on that hip, seal that play side A gap. Okay, this angle right here, we don't quite get to that backside backer. We don't flatten out off the zero enough. But watch how the tackle's able to come down on this hip of the zero technique, and watch the fullback as he's now able to hug that hip of that tackle there and square his shoulders up really, really fast. Okay, see here, we're going to get a pull read, defensive end squeezes, guard still able to get up onto a zany step, and we're able to get to those linebackers there. Coaches, once again, thanks for checking us out here today. Hopefully this is going to give you one little tip, one little extra wrinkle you can put into your offense to help your Veer offense get it going this fall. If you have any questions or if you like what you saw, man, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share, go ahead and follow, comment below. Let me know if there's anything that maybe I can share with you to help as you go throughout the summer and get ready for this fall. Keep up, and I'll try to get some stuff out to you next week. Look forward to hearing from everybody.